Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, and this is the Ulefone Power 6. In this video, we're going to be going over my 5 best and 5 worst things about this phone. So let's get started. My first favorite thing about the Ulefone Power 6 is that the device features a really great looking 1080p display. Now the size of the display is 6.3 inches, and it features a 19.5:9 aspect ratio, but this display is very bright and clear, so it's really good for both indoor and outdoor viewing. So if you're big into social media, or browsing the web, or watching video content, you're definitely going to like the Ulefone Power 6 a lot. So a lot of phones out there might have a good resolution, but the actual display is not very good looking. But for this device, it really does check all boxes when it comes to the display, and I'm definitely a big fan of it. My second favorite thing about this device are the photos that it takes. Now I noticed that some reviewers made videos about this phone talking about how the photo quality is not good, but it's possible that maybe since then this device has gotten a software upgrade, because my experience with the photo quality from the Power 6 has been great. I'm very impressed with the clarity of the photos that are taken by this phone. They really do look nice. You can see how far I can zoom in where things still look nice and clear. So I'm not sure what has happened since those other reviewers checked out the cameras on the phone, but I've been able to take great looking photos with the device. Of course, these photos are not as good as what you get with a flagship phone like the iPhone 11 or Galaxy S10, but still they are very good looking. My third favorite thing about the Ulefone Power 6 is the battery capacity. Now this phone features a 6,350 mAh internal battery, and it truly is a beast. And that's probably the reason why this phone is called the Power 6 in the first place. But you are getting a very large battery with the phone that will give you excellent battery life. It does add a little bit of thickness to the device, but still, it's not too bad. I mean, it's to be expected to have this level of thickness with that level of battery capacity. So I'm really happy that we are getting a nice beefy battery with the Ulefone Power 6. My fourth favorite thing about the phone is that it features a very good build quality. So Ulefone did a great job at constructing and designing the phone. It feels very solid in the hand. The buttons are nice and tactile. It just appears to be very refined. Now, of course, there's ways they could have made this more premium. They could have put glass in the back. They could have put a metal band running around the sides. But at $199, this is pretty consistent with other phones that I've seen in the price range. But I am very happy about the build quality of it. My fifth favorite thing about the Ulefone Power 6 is that the phone does feature USB-C for charging and data transfer. It's really sad in 2019 that this is still a standout feature, but there still are a lot of budget phones featuring micro USB. So I'm really happy that this device does feature USB-C. That's really the future. That's the way things are heading. And I know for me personally, I now have a lot of USB-C cables lying around, so I'm glad I'm able to use those with my Power 6. Now, despite all of those benefits with the Ulefone Power 6, there are some things that the phone needs to improve on, or features that I wish it had. The first one is portrait mode. Now, I know that earlier in the video I mentioned that I am very happy with the photo quality from the device, but portrait mode really doesn't work that well on here. Now, in this photo, it did work decently well, because my face is in focus, but the background's blurred out, so that's definitely a success. But in other photos like this one, my face is blurred out, but then other parts of my body are not. So I'm not very impressed with portrait mode on the Ulefone Power 6. They definitely need to improve it somehow. But if you don't really care about portrait mode, then you'll definitely be happy with the cameras on this device. But if portrait mode really is important to you, then you might want to look into something else. Another thing I wish this phone had is wireless charging. So there is no wireless charging with the Ulefone Power 6. I think it would have been a great feature to have. I know that with the phones that I have that feature wireless charging, I use that feature all the time, and I have a bunch of Qi wireless chargers all around my apartment. So maybe they'll include that in a successor model to this device. Now, from my experience, the software has performed pretty well with the phone. Browsing the web is really smooth. However, the default launcher that comes on here is not that smooth. Now, I actually have the Pixel launcher on the device right now, and it gives me very good performance. Everything works really well. But by default, we get a different launcher, so let me show you that. So this is how the device comes by default with this launcher, and I'm just not really that happy with the performance. It's not the worst ever, but it definitely is a little bit on the slower side. So once I replaced it with the CPL launcher, the customized Pixel launcher, it really did improve things quite a bit. And I like how it gives you a more stock feel with the phone as well, so it makes it even closer to stock Android. Now, The whole operating system itself really isn't that heavily modified anyway from Android 9 Pie, but with that launcher, it's definitely something that's customized and different from what you normally get directly from Google. The Ulefone Power 6 features the MediaTek Helio P35 processor, which really is not that bad of a processor, but for $199, I would have expected something a little bit better. Don't get me wrong, it gets the job done, and having it is definitely not a deal breaker, but I do wish this phone did have maybe the MediaTek Helio P60 or even the P70 would have been great, because other phones in this price range have that processor. This is the benchmark score that I got with the Ulefone Power 6, and you can see it's not overly impressive, but it's also not awful. And finally, this last thing really is not a big deal at all, but kind of strange, is that we have the Wi-Fi symbol on the left side here. I'm not sure why it's over there. It really should be on the right side with the other system status icons, because typically on the left side is where all of your various notifications are. And this is not a notification. That's just a symbol showing you the Wi-Fi connection. But I'm really interested to know your thoughts about the Ulefone Power 6 and what you think of those various pros and cons. Definitely the pros of this phone are very good and the cons are not really a big deal at all. In my experience with the Ulefone Power 6 has been really good. But if you're interested in buying this phone, definitely take a look at the link in the video description, as that'll take you over to where you can get it on Amazon. But this is Kevin here, this is the Ulefone Power 6, and I will see you in the next video.